All right, we're good to go. We're going to call this a regular session of the West Tawakoni City Council meeting to order. It's January 13th, 2026, 7 p.m. We'll go ahead and start it with invocation and go into the Pledge of Allegiance. Ramsey, if you'll lead us, please.
Father, we ask for your wisdom and clarity as we conduct the city's business tonight. Our decisions be guided by fairness, respect, and desire to serve the best interests of our community. Grant us unity in this purpose and the courage to do what's right. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll go ahead and move into number 4, announcements. Council, city, are there any announcements?
I don't have anything.
I have none.
Okay, so we do have one announcement. City Hall has expanded its operating hours. City Hall will now be open from 7 a.m. to 4:30 Monday through Friday. Have an extended hour for everybody.
Was it
To take care
Public
of
Works
business.
changing or anything?
Nope, that's everybody. Public Works will be extended. City Hall will be open. We wanted to do that so people could, if they need to come into City Hall, take care of business before they're headed to work, they can do that.
Perfect. Any other announcements? All right, we'll move on. Citizens input related to agenda items. 3-minute time limit. I've got one turned in to me. Cecilia?
Thank you for letting me speak again. I've been toying in my head about the new water meters that you guys are proposing to do for the city. I'm not really sure if this has been like an ongoing issue for several years, or if it's last year that y'all saw you think that you're losing too much water. I'm not really sure why this issue has come up. The guys that spoke last week did a really good sales job. But I truly just don't believe that our city needs to incur that cost to replace all those meters at this time. I don't know if we're just guessing that the ones we have are inaccurate, but I don't know if y'all tested that. The data has to be monitored all the time. I mean, that's a 24/7 thing. I know it goes into a place and there'll probably be alerts or something, but somebody's got to be responsible for that. That's not on their agenda right now. And I just think that maybe we should spend money on our roads, buying equipment, or, hire more people to help with the road crew, because people that are moving out this way, when they go into a neighborhood and they see how we live on our streets, they're like, I don't think I want to live down this neighborhood, So anyway, that's my 2 cents on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No other citizens input. We'll keep moving. Number 6 will be consent agenda items. This is give you all a chance. There's been some talk this week. Are there any consent agenda items that we need to discuss before approving?
Do we want to approve the ones that we don't have?
No, you can't approve the ones you don't have.
Scratch the K, L, and M. We do not have planning and zoning, keep West Tawakoni beautiful, and building and standards minutes. Scratch approving those.
Okay, and then
Any other discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I can't do it because I didn't get it. So I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda items that we have.
I'll second that.
I've got a motion and a second.
Chad Kobe.
Nancy Menzie.
Greg Sprinkle.
James.
Motion pass. Moving on, number 7, old business. Discussion and or action on city employee performance reviews. Department heads complete the performance reviews of their department report and provide the documents with performance ratings to the council.
This one, I'll make a motion to table it because we don't have one of the main department heads here today.
So
Because
we've got
he's sick,
JD and Shannon are out sick, so
so
you're making a motion to table it.
table it to the next meeting.
Okay, I've got a motion on the table.
Second that.
Got a second. All in favor?
Chad Kelly,
Randy Lindsay.
Greg Swinkle.
James Shem.
Motion passed. New business. Presentation from John Spencer with the ZOA soft water for our short-term rental collection project. John? Come on up to the podium.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm actually from Mason County. It's kind of fun to come to East Texas and see water. It's dry. Give you a little bit of background on what we do and how we do it. We do short-term rental compliance. I was actually on the phone driving here. It's kind of a funny world. A few hours ago, I was on the phone with the big island of Hawaii. Okay? They have 8,000 short-term rentals. And Hawaii doesn't have towns; they only have counties. So 8,000 in the county. And here I am in West Tawakoni. So it's kind of a funny deal. What we do is we go out and we discover within any given jurisdiction all of the short-term rentals, meaning Airbnb and VRBO and dozens of other booking sites out there. With that discovered, we then have a small army in northern Utah that they're like little private investigators. It's a little bit, frankly, eerie what they can find out about you. Just warn you. That provides irrevocable, proof that this is in fact being rented. That they identify the address. It gets tied back to all of your GIS, so you've got all the ownership information. You've got all of that kind of stuff, as well as plenty of evidence to show that the property in question is being rented. Okay, which then obviously sort of segues to licensing and tax remittance around it. So what we do is manage this whole process end to end. What I've discussed previously with Shannon and whoever, with you, is that I don't care if it's West Tawakoni or Hawaii. I always encourage people to start small. It just doesn't make sense to bite off a whole ton when it may be the kind of the embryonic version of what you need is all you need. You can always grow up, and it's very difficult to shrink. So I would just start with that. I'm probably a lousy salesman in that respect, but it's just in your best interest to start small. So what we provide for cities like West Tawakoni is a product that is going to give you real-time access through a console. Meaning the staff probably, but y'all are welcome to have it too. It also gives you either monthly or quarterly reports on just a listing of every short-term rental in the jurisdiction with all the relevant information. In a city this size, it just frankly doesn't make sense to try to automate, all kinds of matching and the things that we do for much larger places. So I would really encourage y'all to start there, and over time, if you find that you really want to automate things like online tax collection, if you want to automate licensing and renewal and all that kind of stuff, we're developing a product actually right now. It'll be ready in the next probably 6 weeks. That is really aimed way down market to places like West Tawakoni, other places, Lander, Wyoming. I'm working with right now on this. Collegedale, Tennessee. They're all kind of in the same ballpark size. But what it is really just a turnkey version of a much bigger product that would allow you guys to have some of these more advanced capabilities if you want them. But again, I would really encourage you to start small. Okay, that initial product that I'm talking about is $1,500 annually.
$1,500
annually. Yeah, so, and it's an annual subscription. At the end of the year, you don't like me, you fire me. So I hope I earn my keep.
I have a question though. So once you identify all of the short-term rentals, let's say we got 30 of them, then most of the work is done then, right? We go after them, get them registered and all that.
That's right.
So after that, you might have one or two here and there, right?
Yeah.
What's the value then that you provide at that junction?
The interest is probably not a lot.
Okay.
And it may be that you say, we don't really need you anymore, having done this initial. Now, if you go to kind of this next product, obviously there's a lot more stickiness to that. Around your licenses are there, the renewals are there, the tax remittance is there, and all that kind of stuff. So just to kind of so you understand kind of the price points there, that one's going to be $5,000 a year. It just kind of depends on the level of automation that you want. That's a good question.
But from what I understand, you guys are pulling data from the websites, but it's based off of if it shows available or not available?
No. So without getting too far in the weeds here, behind that screen, there's a whole kind of set of machine language that exists behind that whatever screen, whatever website you like. Okay. So we're actually going in there and mining out of that in the same way that Google does, or pick your favorite. They'll call it indexing. We call it scraping. I mean, and so we're simply going in there and picking out all the relevant fields. Availability is an element of what we capture. So I can't give you transactional data. I can only give you availability, right? I mean, that's
So if they take it offline for 6 months, that shows money, right?
That's right.
Even
And
though
by the way,
it's offline.
and it's another good question. We're tracking that. Okay, so if someone thinks they're being clever and they can sort of dodge the bullet, I mean, we've done this for 14 years with the biggest resort communities in the world, and they can't. I promise you.
Not all Airbnbs are online year round.
That's right. So we're very careful. We do it randomly too. So you can't like time the cadence of our scrape.
Right.
So if it comes up, but if someone then brings it down, and then says, "Gee, it's down. I don't need a license." We continue to monitor that product.
Right. But what if they just take it offline for they have it on the weekends, but they're living there Monday through Friday?
That's right.
So you're showing they're being rented out Monday through Friday.
I'm not showing that, and I'll be very candid with you. We manage availability, which is distinct from transactional taxable. There's no way for us to do that. There's no way anyone can do
Why y'all are looking at me?
that.
I just going around. Any questions for me?
So let me, I want to make sure I want to get a little bit in the weeds. So we identify 30 locations. How often do you go back in that 12-month period and continue looking for additional locations?
At least weekly.
Okay. And when you say that in the future we have the opportunity to automate tax revenue, does that tax revenue, how do you know what that tax revenue is if all you're doing is availability? Then you're looking at when it's not rented, not when it is.
I mean, the way we can do it, and this is getting and I can add all kinds of services for you. So you do get a 1099 at the end of the year if you've ever owned an Airbnb.
Okay.
So we can then say, as part of this system, and this is part of the $5,000 system, is you can require uploads. So for your renewal, in many cases, they require an upload of that 1099. So then we can say, okay, good. We now have all the remittance data, and we're able to, in effect, provide an audit. This is part of what we do up in Utah.
Sure. Okay. So I understand what you're saying. You're basically asking them to upload their 1099 form, and you have some sort of.
We have a human being.
Right. We have some sort of repercussion should they should they not do it.
It's
we can
fraud.
say.
I mean, let's call it what it is.
Yeah. No, I understand. But in year one,
we have no way of really, again, on the back end we do with the renewal. But if all you've done is to rent it for 1 year and then you say, okay, I'm done, I don't have a way of handling that.
So what can we log in and do in this program? Like we log into it, what can we do?
So with the kind of entry product, you can log in and see, first of all, maps and then just individual reporting on every short-term rental in the community. Okay? Then you can go in and,
What do the reports show?
excuse me?
What do your reports show?
I can send you, I mean, it has about 60 columns in this kind of standard one. So it's
Pretty in-depth
everything from sort of property attributes, how many bedrooms, that kind of thing, how many square feet in the property, to ownership information, particularly with, not particularly with anyone, but seems to be more of interest with out-of-town owners. And then you can do all kinds of, obviously, inferred data on that, like, do we have people that are owning multiple properties in town, things like that.
From like GIS data. or whatever.
It's integrating the listing data with the GIS data, correct?
John, I have another question. Is it $1,500 for a year, right? For 1 year?
Uh-huh.
So just trying to see how to justify that cost.
Sure.
So what's our occupancy tax rate, Here,
I don't know.
7%?
It's, you guys said it.
7%.
It's not us.
so if it is 7%, how much revenue do they have to collect for us to get that much money to pay you?
I'd have to do some arithmetic.
I mean,
I don't
we
have
gotta at least make that money,
Yeah, I mean, I think the question would also be, what is the substitute? To the degree that you guys want to manage the compliance. The substitute is having someone.
No, it's a good service.
No, I'm just simply trying to say that I'm trying to come up with an objective way of evaluating this for you. And I'm not trying to sell anything.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's an important thing. It's got a benefit for us. We have, approximately how much one of these houses or renters will cost, say $100 a night or something. How many do we need? So we get at least get
Okay,
1,500
if you
to
say
pay
if
you.
you say it's $100 a night, so it's $7 a night in tax you're collecting
Right.
times, I don't know how good's the bass fishing in the middle of winter.
So maybe 130.
By the way, you'll get a lot of data on that.
200. Let's say
too.
200
Can I
a
add
year. That's all we
something to
need,
that?
right? 200 rentals a year.
Yeah.
That'll give you
That's by the way,
$1,400.
I think that's too high.
We need
You're not-
$21,500 a year in rent. We need $21,500 a year to pay his fee. Do we have
We
any
also
idea?
get registration fees and their inspection fees too.
Yeah.
So we're on top of the tax
I got you.
revenue we're getting, we're also getting.
Yeah, but I think the
additional-
question James is asking is, okay, so what difference, we're already getting the registration fees from the ones that we know of and that we found kind of on our own or whatever, right? And then we're gonna add with what he finds as well. We need to find the delta between what we can do on our own and then what they will add to it to be able to, does it justify the $1,500 additional that we're paying over and above the, what we're already doing on our own? Because we clearly have some money in our occupancy tax today, but are we capturing all that we could be? And if we do go with this service, do we capture at least $1,500 more?
And
Yeah,
how much
it's not a
time,
huge amount.
how much?
Yeah,
How much of Shannon's time are we?
exactly. How much time are we devoting to it?
Right, and it's not a big amount. I think it can be
So
justified very
Airbnb
easily.
not providing information.
Right?
Not in our lifetime.
They're not giving us
But it
anything.
can be justified pretty easily. It's not a lot of money and it saves time from our own staff too. They don't have to go after it, waste their time. So there's just a lot of benefits.
I mean, she can spend 2 hours a week just looking for additional,
Exactly. Yeah,
which is, 100 hours at $25 an hour. She's
Once the data's there, what happens?
You own it?
He said
Is
the
that
same.
your question?
Yeah, no, what happens? Like, once the data's there, it's in front of
Okay,
them.
so another service we provide if you want to is and again at y'all's level it probably doesn't make sense, but for larger places we do kind of letter fulfillment and letter escalation. So kind of typically the first letter that goes out is you must have overlooked the fact that you forgot to register, and here's how you go about doing it and whatnot. And if that letter gets ignored, we actually have an evidence report that we print. It's dynamically generated PDF that will show conclusively to the person, we know you're renting and here's proof of it. So things like reviews, right? You can't leave a review without on Airbnb without having transacted business with Airbnb. So this becomes conclusive proof of rental. So that then gets delivered and suddenly the response rate to those letters goes way up when they say, look, they like I said, it's a little spooky sometimes, but they know they're tracking what we're doing here. And
Is that those letters included as part of this 1,500?
No.
yeah, I mean, typically it's a $200.
It's a matter of getting in touch with the people that have the Airbnb.
Yeah.
Let them know.
You said you would send the report
Versus-
quarterly, right?
I can even do it for you monthly if you like. There's
Monthly, okay,
typically,
so,
because you've got real time. I mean, if you want to see things, you can run your own reports
Right.
and download this and you can export it all to Excel or other formats that allow you to do all the reporting you want to with it.
So how do the reports know how much money they're making?
I'm sorry.
How do you know how much money they're making?
You can't.
What we can't know with certainty. We do have kind of an inferred estimate that's based on, we have nightly rates, and we do run kind of certain algorithms to say clearly, and I'll give you an example. I'm in Boston next week, right out on Cape Cod. If you see 90 days of occupancy from December through February, that's because a house doesn't have heating. It's not because it's occupied. So we have algorithms that can go out and detect that sort of thing. As we work more and more, in East Texas, for example, we're actually working with Tyler right now as another example. But we'll learn more and more about kind of seasonal occupancy. And it's certainly nothing I can say, this is fraudulent based on this, but it gives you an idea, a pretty good idea of actually how much is being rented. So I would call it directional data as opposed to pinpoint data.
This kind of gives you the addresses and say, hey, contact these people.
So if you do the math on Shannon's time to do this, Shannon's hourly rates based on her salary is $34 an hour. It would be to pay for that service would be about 90 minutes a week.
How many do we actually have it here though? There's not very many.
Well, no, but there's 30. But I'm just to go and just if she spent 90 minutes a week looking for an additional Airbnb or an additional short-term rental that did pop up, and my guess is over the next 3 to 5 years we will have a much larger number of Airbnbs show up in West Tawakoni just because of the growth of the town and the availability of additional houses and additional places.
A lot of them will be houses that are just sold, turned into Airbnb or.
Exactly. So you're talking about 90 minutes. If she spent 90 minutes a week just looking for additional Airbnbs, that would pay his fee.
Yes.
And I don't see her doing that 90 minutes a week, which means we not only lose out on getting the additional ones, they're going to check them every week and look for
Are
them.
we getting $1,500 a year on it already?
I think it's a good deal.
I'm not sure I understand the
Like,
question.
what are we making on short term right now? We're making that much money now?
I think that we're getting a little too far into the weeds with it
Yeah.
because we can't actually vote on anything tonight. We want to hear his presentation and then we need to take it back on another meeting and try to start collecting that data and figure out where to go from there.
I've got to say, I was really amazed there weren't more here. Just for comparison's sake, I'm just sitting here thinking it'd be kind of interesting to go run. It's a simple thing for me to do. You go run Gun Barrel City or pick your favorite, what's on Toledo Bend, town, yeah, and say what is the level? I mean, I can tell you, we work with a town that sits on a lake in Utah right now. Obviously, it's much different. They have 600 in that little bitty town. I would say 90% of the homes in that town are registered short-term rentals. So I do think that it's going to grow here. There's no question.
I think we got to put it on a future agenda to take action.
Appreciate you coming out with the
Thank you.
presentation. I'm sure they'll be in touch with you more
Yeah,
and
if I
try
can
to
answer
figure out where to
questions,
go from
please
here.
let me know if you have additional.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, like I said, we can't vote on that one, so we're gonna move on to B, discussion and or action on the presentation from Lake Tawakoni Regional Chamber of Commerce requesting usage of the city park for the annual catfishing festival. Dina, I take it you're giving us a
I'm
presentation.
presenting my presentation?
Yeah.
Yes. So hi, everybody. My name is Dina Sweeney. I'm the Director of Marketing at the Lake Tawakoni Regional Chamber of Commerce. I have my board president, Jennifer, here with me tonight, too. She's here for moral support, I guess. I'm pretty good at the yapping. So, so last year we decided to revive the Catfish Festival. It was something that I particularly grew up, and if you grew up in West Tawakoni, grew up with in the 90s and early 2000s. It's something that was fairly large. Last year was the 65th anniversary of the lake being built and open, and we thought it was a really great time to revive that. In the past, it was a weekend-long event with several things. There was fishing tournament, catfish cook-offs. They had the Miss Hunt County pageant there, several things. So we are still in a growing period. We're not there yet, but we did do a lot better last year than we actually anticipated. We anticipated between 1,500 to 2,000, and we actually got somewhere between 2,500 and 3,500. Now, profit-wise, not so much, but we did actually do a very, very small one. So we want to come back this year and host it again, have it even a little bit larger, hopefully grow. We're opening it up to local businesses to be vendors and sponsors, so they'll be able to participate. We got approval from TxDOT to do it over the highway banner. So anybody that does a sponsorship of $2,500 or more, up to 6, we can put their logos on the over the highway banner, and it'll be up for about a month. It'll be right in front of the park. With that, we are going to bring back the carnival rides. We're going to ticket them a little bit different this year. We did do an all-you-can-ride for $20 last year, and it was 6 hours of unlimited rides. We learned that probably wasn't the best idea with kids and spinning rides, because we had a lot of kids that just went totally feral and made themselves sick, but it got the word out for us. So this year what we would like to do is do a 2 or 3 day, just randomly grab an all-you-can-ride wristband and then sell tickets for $1 a ticket for 5 tickets a ride. So it'll turn a little profit. And we're also going to bring back the donating the canned food to the local food pantries for tickets for the rides as well. We also want to make sure that the city is there collecting donations for the park, so that that can go back into the park, and y'all can use it how you need to for the equipment, fencing, anything like that. Baseball field, utility field.
We did the parking last year, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
So, also, I want to make sure that we have a better communication this year with Mary, JD, Morgan, and myself, and probably 1 or 2 of you guys. I know with the quorum, to make sure the communication is really good, and that we're working a little bit better hand in hand with that.
What do you need from us?
Okay, so I would like permission for the park to be used.
Date and time.
Thank you. May 2nd. It's going to open at 10 o'clock and close at, or May 9th. Thank you. May 2nd's the vote.
Change the date.
Yeah, May 9th from 10 to 4.
But you need it time more than
They need the day before, if not 2 days before. It depends on what rides we're able to get, how they would need it set up. I'll know a little bit better once we have a little bit better funding and what rides we're going to set up. So they did make a note last year that because it rained right before, the ground was soft, so some of the rides got a little stuck. So we might need to look at an alternative place to put them. They come with their own insurance and their own, oh goodness, what is the word? The power supply and things like that. So they can go anywhere. They just need somewhere firmer if it rains.
Do we have somewhere firmer? The parking area is about the.
The parking area was my first idea, and then parking the cars where we had the rides last year instead. Because the
So let's
cars,
put the cars in the soft ground?
the cars did fine getting out. It's because the rides were so heavy, and they had to have large trucks bring them in. That's why they got stuck. The tractor was in and out. My car was in and out, so we didn't have any problems with like regular vehicles.
Do you have a rain contingency?
I don't.
Okay.
What did you, wouldn't you expect some running across like the grass if you park in the grass?
I'm so sorry.
Like ruts and just, if there's gonna be tracks in the grass.
Yes and no. I think it would just depend on the vehicle and how wet it is. Mine didn't leave any ruts. I don't think the tractor did last year either. It was just that the very one specific heavy truck that had 2 carnival rides on it.
there's damage in their own pot, but
So that's all you're asking for is the park?
And if the city would like to sponsorship, we would really appreciate it. The idea behind that is if the city is able to sponsor it, we would like for them to be able to sponsor, if not all of the carnival rides, then part of the carnival rides so that we can set up, we can have the city of West Tawakoni's logo on the over the highway banner, any signage, radios, the signs that are going around town in the city of Quinlan, our website, all the e-blasts, so forth and so on, radio mentions, and that we would also make it up to where it says the city of West Tawakoni Family Zone.
What are we looking at? It's gonna cost to, what are you looking for as financial for the rides?
Each ride is about $4,000. So I would, if 5,000 is doable for you guys, we would really appreciate it.
So you only need one ride.
No. So we were wanting to do 3 to 4 rides. So depending on how much we can get, it would be 4 moderate rides, or we can do a large ride with 2 moderate rides. They're willing to work with us in which way or form. They're a really good family-owned company that wants to help us build this up.
And then 4,000 to 5,000 a ride,
Mhm.
even on different.
So the moderate rides are 4,000 to 5,000, and the larger rides could be anywhere between 7 and 10, depending on what you want. So like the roller coasters or the giant Ferris wheels versus like the slides.
Do they sell tickets for rides?
So no, that would be us.
So based on last year's performance, you said you made a little profit, right?
Mhm.
So if you were to do all the things you want to do, can you price it such a way that you make a decent profit?
So last year, the reason why everything was priced so low is because we wanted to get the word out about it.
No, I got you.
We wanted to grow. So this
Right.
year, it is going to increase a little, and probably if it continues to grow like it is, the price will gradually increase. But we don't want to go overboard to where the people of this community can't enjoy it.
No, but I think, there's always choices, instead of 4, 5, 6 rides, you might say 2 rides. But, if you have 20 rides, you're not getting enough people to ride them, so you have less money coming back, right?
Mhm.
If you have 2, you might make a profit. So work on those numbers and try it and price it accordingly, so you make a profit,
Okay.
Why not make a profit so that you don't need a lot of sponsors? Is that possible?
Not at this moment. It's not. No.
Gonna have to grow a little bit.
It has to
before
grow. It has to grow. This is only the second year that this is happening, and word of mouth was really the biggest thing that happened last year, despite paying for Facebook advertisement and putting out signs and things like that. So, a lot of people.
Think about it. Don't say no. Think about
I'm not
it.
saying
There's
I'm
always-
not saying no. I think with time, yes, absolutely. But for right now, it's a possibility, but it's not one that I'm willing to depend on.
No, I'm not saying you depend on it, but you can still see, how many of each kind of things you can have, right?
Mhm.
So it's good to have 25 rides. You have choices, kids. But if you only have 2 or 3, you might make.
Because the goal is to keep it around 3 to 5,
But
and then
all I'm trying to
have
say-
other things.
yeah, I'm not-
Because we want our businesses to come in with
Yeah.
their things, so their games, our nonprofits to come in to raise money for their
No, I understand.
organizations.
I'm not saying you do this or that, but I'm saying think about, making it viable.
I have a question. What did we bring in last year on parking?
500.
So 10% of what she's asking for? And my understanding, we did not do a bang up job on then the parking was donations, right?
It was donations only.
it was
I think it
volunteer-
could definitely be
voluntary.
better,
It could be
yes.
better worded, and it could be better suggested.
Better, could be
Especially
better
if you-
organized.
And
Your words.
put out there
Yeah.
what we're gonna use it for.
Right. No, I'm just looking at what the, what the city gets out of it,
Y'all's profit was honestly right underneath ours. So
Right.
Am I remembering right? We have advertising. What do we have on that line item? 10,000? And this could be used as advertising.
Out of
Need a motion?
So you need to give her a motion to approve the use of it. and
or
the
wait,
amount.
how many
Hold on.
days? Because it was,
I would say I would give it 4 days. May not need all of them, but just in case for the setup and then the breakdown.
So tell me, okay, so the, let's clarify, so it's like Thursday through Saturday, is that correct?
Let's do Thursday through Sunday so that just in case they need that Sunday
Sunday
to break
tear
down.
down.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sunday
They
tear
tore it
down.
down the night of last
that's
year,
right,
but
okay,
Yeah, if they finish at 4, they're gonna pack up and move out.
yes.
okay.
So you want the park,
That's what I'm looking at too.
May 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Correct.
The 10th Mother's Day by any chance?
It is.
Okay. I just have this whole May thing, so, do what? All of it? Where we're at. Yeah, but I think you're gonna have other sponsors too, correct?
We will.
I think we may need,
Who are you anticipating as sponsors? Let me ask you that.
We're talking with the West Tawakoni EDC for sponsorship, and then usually some businesses will help out as well, depending on. We have a few things in the works, like a petting zoo. We're gonna ask for a specific sponsor for the mechanical bull ride. We're gonna ask for a specific sponsor for a thing called a Euro bounce, it's the harness thing where they can bounce on it. We're gonna ask for a specific sponsor for. So those things will be, and then usually a few businesses will kick in here and there too. Exit real estate.
So,
okay,
if we're able to decide for.
let's do 7,500. Let's leave 25 in there for, I make a motion that we provide them with $7,500 out of the advertising budget that's in the Parks and Rec group right now from, let's see,
Advertisements and occupancy tax?
7,500 out of occupancy tax, because that will give us 7% in advertising that we have to spend there anyway. And we give them the park from the 7th through the 10th of May, 2026. And, yeah, at no fee to the use. The city collects parking in an organized manner. That money is earmarked and directed back to the park. And we want our name on the banner across the street and the ability to use that banner in the future, the cable with the banners on.
So that is actually, so the cables.
While I'm negotiating,
So I can help you with the text dot situation and FEC, but FEC.
oh, you're
and
gonna help.
So you have to get approval for through them, and FEC has to install it. So you can't just go up there.
You're gonna help.
So.
You're gonna help.
She's already helping. She's
Yes.
providing us information.
Not only that, she found out we could do it, and that was 90% of the battle right there. So that's my motion.
okay, minus the banner.
Mine. No.
Okay, I do have a question on, you're wanting it, parking donations to go directly to what?
The park fund.
Just the park, okay. I
Just
wasn't sure
the
if you had
park
anything
fund.
specific, park improvement.
No, just the park fund. General park fund we can use for anything in the park.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like matching monies.
All right,
Concept.
so we got a motion to allow them to use the park at no fee and donate $7,500.
From the occupancy tax for May 7th through the 10th.
Mhm.
Our name on the banner going across the street.
Where that is.
Yeah, everywhere we can put it, we'd like to know that
I
the
got
city of
you.
West Tawakoni
You want to say
sponsored it.
Greg? Greg on it?
No, I don't want to. I'm here for recreation, not recognition.
Yes, I know. I've got a mock-up ready to send you guys. This is just. And I will be selling snacks on wheels for the day also.
That's fine.
Okay.
You don't have to steal them. You can have them.
So the motion is 7,500 from May 7th to May 10th, no fee, city collect parking donations for the park fund. Anything else in your motion that needs to be on record?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right, I've got a motion
Second that.
and a second. All in favor?
Judge Governor.
Greg Swinkle.
Yes, chef.
Motion passed.
Thank you guys.
All right, we'll move on To D, discussion and or action on appointing a member to fill the vacant seat 5 on city council.
You're skipping,
Yeah,
Donna.
I'm skipping.
So that's
You're
one
skipping
before
Donna.
that.
Oh, sorry about that. Come on, Mr.
Donna,
Go backwards here to C.
get all dang
If y'all like
mad.
to get out quickly, you could just say we're gonna pass it and then.
All right, C is discussion and or action to approve West Tawakoni EDC Park Grant Program. Donna?
Alright, so you guys got these in your electronic packets, correct?
Yes.
Alright, well, you're gonna wanna have the paper form because this is the one that you'll fill out for me rather than electronic for the EDC if you make. And there's a slight change in here from what y'all have, because when we made our motion, I'll cover that in a few minutes. We added some verbiage. Right.
You wanna do it? Can I do it? We'll get out here, or you can do the mouse from where you're at.
Alright, so
That's
Well-
the one.
I haven't clicked it, so we'll see. If it doesn't, you can jump up and run back over there. Hi, as you know, I'm Donna Milburn, president of the EDC. Thank you for letting me come back before you with the revised park grant program. I came before you, I believe it was back in November, and had talked to you guys about us trying to actually have a policy and a procedure where you could come to us and ask for money to help with things in the park. And you challenged us to go and add some more verbiage in there to make it clear that there are certain things that y'all would do, for example, making it a matching grant, and certain things that we would do to make sure that whatever was done in the park would continue to be maintained. So no, it doesn't work from over here.
That's it.
All right, so I'm not going to go through all of this on the slides, but I want to cover some of the important language that changed from the first one that we presented to you. So the first thing is the purpose of what the money is to be used for in the park. So we made sure to put it very clear what it is that we're looking at this money to go for. This money isn't there to go for, we're going to do a cattle ranch or something. It's actually there for making changes in the park that encourage the safety, visual improvement, enhancement of park, any of the city parks in the city. So right now, you know, one of the things y'all focus on is on the park that we have right there. I don't know if you're aware, there's actually plans for 2 more parks in this city that were in the original city plans that are still there. So this is written so that if the city ever does that in the future and opens up those parks, they're available to apply for a grant for those parks as well under this way. Money needs to hopefully increase tourism, increase the RV and tent pavilion rentals, increase the economic growth through activities that promote businesses, assist in use for professional and amateur sports, because we can do that for either one with our EDC funds, public park purposes and events, park facilities, open space improvements, automobile parking facilities, related roads, streets, and or water and sewer facilities in the park. Texas law allows us to do all of that. The goal of this program is to assist when requested in adding, maintaining, renovating structures or equipment that exist in the city parks consistent with section 505.152. Everyone can go online and pull up that section of the Texas law that says that we're able to do this. It's important to know that applications can only be submitted by the city. So we don't want citizens out there to suddenly think they can decide, hey, let's go get an application and make a request that the EDC do something in the park. Park belongs to the city. So the request will need to come from city council, signed by both the mayor and the city secretary or city administrator. In the guidelines that you asked for us to update and make sure we're clear, one of the things that we did is become a little bit more specific, and what's in red is what we added from the time when I first presented this to you. So in the first guideline, this would be for any and all projects approved in section 505.152. And then we added that funding assistance is distributed as a reimbursement grant or as a grant where the money will be returned, clawed back if the proposed use of funds and required matching funds is not completed within the 12-month period of the payment being given. After 12 months, if the project hasn't been completed, if you haven't done it, for example, let's say we gave you $10,000 because you're going to update the playground, and then 1 year later, you haven't used that money and matched it, haven't updated the playground, you have to give that money back to the EDC. And then starting on month 13, every month that you have not given it back, there'll be a $20 charge that goes with that until it gets returned. In section 9, we have the standards of what we're looking for in this program. So the money is what has been changed to a matching funds grant. So the matching funds, the city will either pay equal to or exceeding the amount of money that they're requesting from the EDC. That shows us that the city has a good faith financial investment in whatever the development, repairs, or improvements are. And then we added that the city of West Tawakoni will have a budget approved for the existing fiscal year that has at least $10,000 in it. Now, the reason we put this in is because this is the best city council ever, and the city is running really great, in my opinion, and I've lived here now for 20 years. But 4 or 5 years from now, none of you may be sitting here. So what we wanted to do is make sure whoever is sitting in these seats and running this city understands they can't come to the EDC for money to do things in the park if they haven't budgeted to maintain the park.
And you need one employee assigned too.
And
right?
we want at least one city employee formally assigned and designated to be in charge of what happens in the park. So somebody is responsible.
But we don't have that person budgeted now. And we won't until 27.
Could it be your public works director?
Yes, I
Doesn't
think
have to be a full-time employee though. You can just say you are responsible for it, right?
that's right.
That's part of their responsibilities.
At this point, I think it's JD.
Yeah.
JD is the one who's the designated person who's responsible for the park. So anytime, like when I'm up here and something happens to happen in the park, Mary texts JD and JD gets his staff to go take care of it. So he's actually the designated person who goes out and makes sure that that's taken care of. Next one. And then what's added, step different from what y'all received in your packet, is this final one. My board wanted to make it clear that a separate performance agreement will be signed between the City of West Tawakoni and the West Tawakoni EDC that specifies what maintenance actions will occur related to the project being funded. Okay, so again, we didn't want to be specific in here about what those are in this kind of contract, because it'll be depending on what it is you're asking for us to give you the money for. Next. An applicant can receive the grant once per fiscal year. So what we don't want is for the city to come to us in February. We do our budget the same as y'all do. Y'all approve our budget. We don't want you coming to us for $10,000 in February and then coming back to us for $10,000 in June and coming back to us for $10,000 in September.
Yeah.
So we'd like it to be once a year so that we can manage our budget and the plans of what we're doing.
How much will we ask for at one time?
You know, we made a decision not to put an amount in there so that it freed y'all up to ask for whatever y'all wanted. We make the determination about how much we give.
Right.
So, and we'll look at our budget. And if you have a really great plan for something you want to do, and we don't have that in our budget, we can always do a budget amendment and we can help make that happen. So we're flexible, similar to how y'all are flexible in terms of how we can respond to this. So one of the reasons I put this in here is I want you to understand in the past helps us move forward to a brighter future, to understand why it is that we want to kind of do this as opposed to how it's been done in the past. In the past, a good example is in March of 23, the EDC voted to pay $6,978.09 to Team North Texas for the park bathrooms. That was paid to them in May of 23. Then in 24, the EDC voted to give $1,800 toward repairing the park bathrooms. And that was in the budget. So we funded that at this past fiscal year in 2025 because it was in the budget. In all of that, none of that had any written requests from the city to do it. It was a verbal request to the EDC. There were no performance agreements and there were no clawback clauses. So the money was well spent, But one of the things that we noticed is that the EDC was the one who went out and got the bids for the bathrooms, went out and did all the work to make that happen rather than the city. And we started in the summer of 2025, we started kind of doing the same thing. We were following the same pattern because we were looking at those 2 pavilions. We know those need to be repaired. And I've got a really great board. So when one of us starts to get kind of hesitant, we talk and talk it through to figure it out. And our board realized we needed to have a grant program. We needed to actually have something formalized because all this work that's been done in the past by the EDC has been great. We want to continue that forward, and we want to recognize it's the city's park. It's not the EDC's park. So by doing this, we actually can make things happen faster, and we recognize that the power is from y'all, and y'all come to us with what you want, rather than us generating ideas for the park. That makes sense. So I'll give you a quick example about how this grant program works. So for example, you look at that purpose section, section 2, and I took 2 things, a community garden and a dog park. And the reason I took these 2 things is nobody has come to us for either one of these, but both of these have been talked about, okay, just out in the public and in the community. So if somebody comes and wants to do a community garden in the park, we would look at the purpose. Does the plan encourage the safety, visual improvement, or enhancement of the city park? The answer is no. A community garden really doesn't do that. A dog park, does it do that for the dog park? The answer is yes. You got a leash law in the city that says dogs have to be on a leash. And if you have loose dogs running around the park, you're at risk that they're going to bite children or they're going to cause some other kind of injury. Loose dogs poop all over the place. It's not picked up. There's just no doggy bags to pick up the poop. And so when you have events and other things, JD and Public Works have to go and clean that up and make sure that that's taken care of. Next slide. So then the next question would be, does the project increase tourism, RV, tent, or pavilion rentals? For a community garden, the answer would be no. Because a community garden are people who live here who are going into the park and are planting and doing a garden. Does a dog park do that? Yes, it does, because travelers who are going from one place to another often will look for a place to stop, let their dogs out of their car or out of their RVs. If somebody has dogs that travel with them and they want to rent a place for their RV, they would definitely want to rent in the park where they've got a dog park to be able to pet their dog. Does it increase economic growth by promoting businesses, assisting sporting events, park facilities, open space improvement, parking facilities, related roads, water or sewer per section 505.152? For the community garden, no, that doesn't do that. For the dog park, yes, you could say that people who are coming to do sports can pet their dogs in the dog park. People who come to events like Catfish Festival can bring their dogs. They did last year, there were dogs all over. And they could definitely put them in the dog park so that people are kind of safe and the dog has a safe place to be. Then we would go to the standards, and that's where that last one where we're looking at a performance agreement. If somebody came to us for money for a community garden, we would probably have these kind of things for a performance agreement. We would say, all right, you've got to do weekly weeding of the beds and management of the weeds around the edges. You've got to water the plants. You've got to remove the plant debris. We'd probably recommend daily trash removal for any trash drop, because if any of you have a garden, I have a very large garden in the back. My husband used to actually have a farm in Arkansas. He loves to garden. He's got a green thumb. Everything I touch dies. But I will tell you that when you're gardening, every piece of paper, every plant, every seed, there's paper that gets dropped on that ground in my backyard and wherever you're doing a garden. That has to be cleaned up. Otherwise, you're going to end up with paper blowing all over the park and then out into the lake. We would probably want to have a maintenance time agreement for something like 5 years, that whoever it is who's asking for the money agrees that they're going to take care of this for 5 years and make sure it's maintained. We also might want a written plan for who's going to mediate any disputes between the users, who will be present and approve and monitor the planting projects. And then I had to chuckle because I thought, what if we had some teenager who decided to go plant some marijuana plants in a community garden? And that could happen out here very easily. We got to have somebody responsible for that. And then finally, we might require fencing around the garden with attractive plants or shrubbery or something to minimize the look of it, so it doesn't deteriorate and look bad, or during the off season when there's no growing, doesn't look bad to the neighborhood there in Indian Oaks, to the people who are there at the golf course who are coming around, to the people at the hotel who may be coming down to use the park, or to the businesses there on 276. For the dog park, we would also have performance agreements. We probably would require weekly cleaning of the dog park area, making sure that the poop is picked up, and making sure fire ants are taken care of so the dogs don't get injured. We'd probably want to have a maintenance weekly agreement where there's mowing, weed eating, and that the doggy poop bags are replaced. We'd probably require new trash cans, a poop bag dispenser, and the maintenance of the fencing and gates for 5 years. And we would probably require an ordinance to be passed where we look at what if somebody puts their dog in that park and abandons it.
For zero amount of time, just for
Okay.
you would never allow somebody to be in the dog park and or like leave a dog for any amount of time, not attended.
Right. Well, except if they go to the bathroom. So you got.
But they're present on the premises, and that's
yeah. So
yeah.
there's some kind of ordinance that makes it clear, so that if we look up, and I know our police department doesn't want to be going by and picking up dogs from the dog park. We look up and somebody's put their dog in the dog park and left it. You got to have an ordinance that says that's considered abandoned, and we're going to call and have somebody pick it up. So one of the things that I want to make clear with these two examples is, because neither one have been asked, I'm not saying that EDC would be good with either one of them or against either one of them. I'm just giving you examples of kind of how we would be thinking as we start to look at it. And there are some things like the community garden that wouldn't fit in with a parks situation and the laws for that, but it might fit in with a job training or a job situation if a person was going to be hired to actually do that as a job. I don't know how, but we want to make things work for the city and for the community. We want to grow the businesses here as well. So that is the corrections that you guys asked for on the park program.
Where are the other two parks at?
They haven't been built. One is supposed to be down at the end of Rabbit Cove Road. There is a private park. If you go down Maze Lane, there's a community there that has their own private park. And that may be where the second one was in that original city plan. When did we break, if we got it all up and running and we actually were able to put in more parks ourselves?
You put a lot of thought into this, huh? You put a lot of thinking into this.
Yes.
It's a good program. Looks good.
Okay, so it's written as discussion and/or action to approve.
So Don, I have one question. Since the city is the only people, since we are the only people who can request in the park grant, and we only get one shot a year, that really handcuffs us, I think, to be able to say, for 26 at least, that we did a budget in October, and now we have one shot to get one piece of money for 26, that I'm not sure we can meet those requirements with the matching piece and everything else, based on the fact that we've already done a budget for 26 and we only get one shot for the year. And there's only, and that means that if we have different ideas, we have to come together with, we got to put them all together on one, and then we got to come up with 10 copies of everything to provide to you. That seems to be a little bit restrictive to being able to get things done. But if that's the only way that you can do it, I would like to see us have a little more flexibility with that. I don't mean we'd come every 3 weeks and ask for something, but one shot, one program, that's a whole lot of ask.
Well, I'm going to tell you that the language comes from what was the language from the other grant programs that were written up by the former city attorney. So that's where the language of that comes from. So that's, you know, for the facade grants, and then we use that on the parking grants. Could you come to us and ask that to be modified? If you come up with a new agreement, you always can. You can always come to us and ask for us to make an amendment, like an amendment on a budget, if something good comes up. And on the things that you're talking about doing in the park, you can have your plans, but you also are probably not going to know until you actually get started how many of those projects are going to get done. What I would suggest, if I could be so bold, just to give you guys to move forward with it, what I would suggest is that if you would approve this today, then you can move forward with it, as opposed to if we have to go back another month later, next month, and change it and go over it again. And then I have to come back here, you know, before you guys to go over it again. If you go ahead and approve it, because I know you've got a group of people out there who are now, they're not called Friends of the Park, I don't know what they're called, but you got a bunch of people who are really excited to help and to make things happen in this park. And y'all have already, at least, you know, you and Councilman Ramsey, you've got the wonderful things that you've got on the computer that you're looking at doing and already are excited. So I would kind of suggest we can go with this, if you don't mind, and then we can modify later if there's something else that you want to come to us for.
It is, as long as I don't get one, as long as we're not limited to one shot, we have an opportunity to make amendments or options. I have no objection.
You always
Does
have
that
the
make
option.
sense?
No, I don't.
Lee, help me out.
I have a question that's maybe a one concern. When your clawback provision,
Yeah.
on the matching funds, if it's not completed, you have a statement here. It's like you can claw back the full amount.
No, that we gave, just our amount.
Well, I know, but hear me out, because how this is worded would lend towards, let's say they submit a $10,000 grant application and it's approved, but something happens, somebody goes, well, you know what, it's actually not going to take as much, so there's an amended amount, and they only needed 8,000, and we do that, you know, it would be 8,000 from everybody basically instead of the full 10. This indicates that they would, if we didn't spend all of it, you could claw back all of it.
Okay. So
Does that make sense what I'm
that
saying?
does. So the plan though is this isn't the performance agreement with the clawback clause.
Okay.
That's a separate agreement. This just says there's going to be one. And then what happens is when the request comes in for whatever it's for, that agreement and that clawback clause will actually be coming to you.
Okay.
Because I'm going to want you're the city's attorney and you're the EDC's attorney. So I would want you to help write that up.
Okay.
So that it protects the city and the EDC.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want, well, they didn't spend all the money, so we get it all back. That would be a bad solution, you know? Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. That was not the intent.
Okay.
So
That's good, thank you. I have a suggestion, right? So EDC gets a third of the sales tax revenue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you only have so much money. So, right?
Right.
A year. So if we come to you and say, oh, we want $100,000, it makes no sense. I would say, you know, you have so much money, you might say, you know, we'll cap this kind of a grant at this amount. Let's say you cap it at 15,000, just for argument's sake, 15,000 a year. So to Greg's point, you know, we come to you for a project, we need $5,000. You grant it. 2 months later, we come back to you again for another project for another $8,000. You know, you're still under the 15. You know, you can get so it gives us flexibility, right? You're not coming to you with astronomical numbers, and you cap the amount of grant. That'll give us more you give us flexibility, give you flexibility. Think about that.
Okay. Well, I do want to let you know, I agree. That's why there's no dollar amount in any of this. So we have a certain amount set aside in the budget that can go under different things, just like y'all do. Some could be advertising. We've got infrastructure development. Some, for example, if y'all wanted something to do paved roads in the park, That would be infrastructure development, I believe is where we would call that underneath. And that, we moved that to $100,000 for this year. So our budget has that flexibility to pick where in our budget it's going to come from. And the reason we don't have the amount is because the way this reads is it's not guaranteed that we're going to match you dollar for dollar. It's guaranteed that whatever money you're asking for us, you're agreeing that you're going to match it. But we still have the discretion of how much we're willing to give or not.
We could ask for 15 and they could only give us 5, right? So
Yeah, no, I got it. I think it's already capped in the sense that, you know, they have a budget.
it's capped.
So
because
that's
they have
all,
a
it's
budget.
already
Yeah.
capped
It
anyway.
really is capped.
The other thing, come to your point too, that they've got in here a notice provision that says that they can, program rules may be amended or modified, which I think is gonna,
That covers me. That's fine.
yeah.
I can't tell you everything I want to do or everything we're gonna be able to afford to do based on my January the 13th knowledge, right? So I don't want to ask you one time and say, hey, we did this and now I'm done. I can't ask again because I may have, you know, between now and June, there may be something else we're able to come up with a way to fund or with a way to somehow get done whatever we do, right? And you know, there's infrastructure things and then there's activity and recreation things I want to do. So,
And there's also something for the council, all of you to kind of keep in mind and the mayor to keep in mind is that the EDC building that's sitting right there, it's not insured yet. So we haven't rented it out or made a decision what direction that goes. We've got to get it insured first. But I will tell you, when we start to then address what do we want to do, how do we want to rent that out? Because if we have this park grant program in place and you guys are looking at doing some renovations and some really cool stuff in the park, it may be that the city comes back and says, you know what, we really want to rent that because now we've got these park events going on, this park facilities and all this stuff. And so maybe we want that as additional office space or as additional usage. So I think I'm kind of excited because this really kind of opens the doors. Both are happening at the same time. And I think this needs to happen first. And then that building is going to come up for discussion probably here in the next month or two. So you want to be thinking about that.
I'll make a motion then to approve this.
Okay.
To approve this, but do we have to incorporate the?
no,
We can make
she's
a
already
motion to
given us
approve
a,
this. Yeah.
Lee's already given us an
Yeah.
option.
So I've got a motion on the table to approve
Second,
and a second. All in favor?
Chet Goby.
Greg Sprinkle.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much.
It's the park fan club, by the way.
I feel like doing that little song on the, I don't know if y'all see that progressive commercial where you go to $60 park.
All right, we're gonna keep moving. All right, D
I'm
is,
a dog head, but.
right. Discussion and or action on appointing a member to fill the vacant seat 5 on city council.
So we nominated,
Somebody
the
talk.
city, Irving.
So you've gotten, how many applications? 1?
But I do have some suggestions though. So the vacancy is for 2 years. It's for 2 years. We have the option to accept it for the nomination for 2 years. And the city attorney said, we can nominate her for 1 year. I would suggest we go for 1 year. This is the reason. So she doesn't have to make a huge commitment of 2 years coming in. You know, she's not elected. You know, she's doing this. You know, she's interested in this city politics or what's going on in the city. That gives her flexibility if it's for 1 year. We can always renew it for another year if we need to, right?
No,
Or-
we wouldn't. No.
We do it 1 year. Or
If
if it is
you're
2 years.
just saying
I
that you
got
want to
you.
do the special election, appoint her
But
until the special
It doesn't
election.
cost us anything if we were to do an election next time. You
In
know, with
November.
the other rest of
We
the,
come out in November, right?
Yeah, to add that seat into the November.
doesn't cost any more.
I
It's
think it
just
should just be
adding another name.
Until November.
What do you say?
allowing
Yeah.
it to go back to the citizens to vote
To
on,
vote on.
which is
yeah.
what ground we've stood on all along.
Correct. I think, I would say we go for 1
So
year.
you're wanting
And that's
to
also,
appoint
let's
her
say if she doesn't
until,
work out, let's just say,
Right, we're not saying.
let's say she doesn't work out, then it's still ends on
Finish the current term.
current term.
no,
No, because the current term goes for 2 years. So
1 year. We do it for 1 year.
until the November election.
It is call a special election for the November election and appoint her for that period until the special election.
The special election being in November,
Mhm.
when place 2 and place 4 are back up.
Yeah, and who else? Mayor, yeah.
Okay.
She should tell us what she does or what she has done and,
I know her, so
I know her.
I'm 100%.
But it's for the
I'm
benefit of
100%
the,
behind Evan. I think she brings
She's here every meeting anyway.
Yes.
I'm saying it's for the benefit of the,
so
benefit of the people watching.
would you prefer just to go until November?
Well, I think it's a good trial run for the community to see what I'm about. So I wouldn't have I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Does she have to?
So do it in that order though, if you're gonna make the motion, is that you're calling for the special election to just be in November for seat 5. And then make a related motion to appoint her to that term until the special election.
Okay, so we're gonna do 2 motions on this then.
Okay, can I make it?
Yep.
Okay. So I make a motion to call for a special election for the place 5 position in this upcoming November 2026 election. Now, until then, we want to nominate Cecilia Irwin as the place 5.
Let's do it in 2 separate ones.
Yeah, so we need,
Mhm.
the first
It's
motion
just-
is there.
Okay.
All right,
First motion is there.
got a motion
I'll second that.
and a second. Mary, you got all that?
Judge Kobe.
Greg Sprinkle.
James.
Motion passed.
The second motion is to appoint Cecilia Irwin for the position of council person for place number 5 till the November election.
I've got a motion on the table
Second.
and a second.
Judge Kobe.
Greg Sprinkle.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Does she sit today or no?
I just want
She's
in.
got to get sworn
Sworn
in
in.
and she's got to go.
I-
The next one.
Yeah, she'll work on that. We'll get with you. We're working on getting sworn in at the next meeting, so.
Congratulations, Cecilia.
Welcome.
All right. We're gonna move on from there. E, discussion and/or action on appointing a mayor pro tem. Council?
Let's make Cecilia do it.
No, actually, you know what? We did that. Actually, we did that for planning and zoning. Planning and zoning,
Yeah.
we did the same thing. We're in the chairman right away. Yeah. I think it'll be a good idea to.
I'd like to make a recommendation. I know that, Ramsey, you seem to have been my right hand so far. If you would be interested in taking that, I'd like to see if council would look at that for me. I would do that.
I have zero issue with that, and that would be my choice. I just want to make sure that the person that takes it has, is in a positive way about having that responsibility. So, if anybody stands on principle and organization and running the meeting, it's Ramsey. So, always the smartest guy in the room. I mean,
Make a motion.
I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion Ramsey Lindsay become mayor pro tem.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second?
Judge Kobe.
Can't vote for myself, so I'll abstain.
All right.
Greg Sprinkle.
James,
All right, I got 3 with 1 abstaining.
congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Very good. All right, we're gonna move on. F, discussion and/or action to approve budget amendments. Mary, that would be you.
I've already papered the printed, but just for everybody. Wait,
No?
double got it.
Yeah,
Right, this was a recognition from Greg. wanting to put some more money into our improvements fund for parks. So we are going to be about moving 15,000 from occupancy tax fund into the general fund improvements line.
General Park Fund.
Yes,
Improvements.
park,
General Park Improvements Fund,
general fund.
Not the
park
general fund.
improvements
the
Yes.
General Park Fund.
Under the improvements line, though, correct?
Yes,
That's how I have it written.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Put it in the motion.
Yeah, make it with those numbers.
I'll make a motion that we move 15,000 from the occupancy tax to the
Park improvement.
park improvement fund.
Make this second.
I got a motion and a second.
Judge Gomes?
Greg Sprinkle.
It's,
Motion passed. Moving on to G, discussion on the new ordinance zone program that calls for governors to identify their targeted site by July 1st, 2026, and for program to officially open for investors on January 1st, 2027. James?
So the opportunity zone program, it's a great program actually for people to come and invest money. And then if they keep that investment for 10 years, there's no tax. You know, let's say you build a business here, keep it for 10 years, sell it, make a few $1 million, there's no tax on it. So it's a great thing for the city, but the previous opportunities for zone program ended on December 31st. So there's a new one that's coming, but we have to campaign for it. The governors make that choice. It's not automatic. Just because we're poor, we don't get into it automatically. You know, you got to make some. I don't have the answers, but governor makes the choice. We have to campaign some way or the other. Maybe we talk to our representative, state senator or something. But we got to get in there. We got to get in there. We need to get this. We need to be put into the next opportunity zone program. So if you have ideas about how to do it, put all the levers we have.
Is there a reason why it expired? It just expires after so long?
Huh?
Is there a reason why it expired, or does it?
So these are all, they all have sunset laws, everything ends. It's ended for everybody.
Were we in the last one?
Yes.
So, I think some of you have connections in the state, and, senators and all that. I think let's put all the levers.
So how do we do this? I agree with you 100%. We have to be, certainly want to be in it, right?
Right.
We certainly qualify to be in it.
Yeah, that's
Now we need,
qualified.
yeah, so we definitely, how do we assure ourselves of getting in it? What is the requirements? And then who can we designate as the person to, to orchestrate those requirements, do those or get those requirements? Is this something that, council has to do? Is it something that we have Jacob and Martin do? Is it something that is it something that, we get Lee to do? this is, I'm not saying we're throwing more work at you. I'm just saying.
I've got a question, which is, how long are we in the, was it like just a 1 year?
It's 10 years.
Okay. This
10
is,
years.
how did we get into it in the first place
I
then?
don't
10
know.
years
I
ago, I
have
don't
no
know.
idea.
And can also, I think there's gonna be some concern, we're gonna have to show why, undoubtedly, we're gonna have to show why we deserve to be it again. What did we do with that time?
It's actually, it's the poverty rate is the main
Okay.
criteria, and we qualify, 100 times.
Right.
So,
I would imagine that if we could reach out to Quinlan, Jackie, and all them, they would probably help us with this.
Okay.
It would also help towards us building that relationship and working with them. I'm more than sure that they're gonna be going after it. Probably Lone Oak, East Tawakoni, how can we partner up with our neighboring cities to do that?
and talk to the senators. Does anyone know talk
Yeah.
to the senators?
So
You
if
know,
we
probably.
move on this, then maybe you and I can get together with them and figure out how and where to go from here.
Yeah.
It is a great
I
opportunity.
think all of Hunt County qualify.
I would think
I
so
think
too.
the whole country,
You know.
but it's
Yeah.
for the cities, each city
Yeah, I don't
separately.
think it's all Hunt County. I think it's done on census tract. Because I don't think Greenville
Right.
is an opportunity zone.
Rural Hunt County.
I don't think so.
That's probably the right word.
Yeah. Originally it was a federal program.
It is still.
Uh,
That's what I'm looking at.
And why does Abbott decide who gets it?
The federal program in which the governors then, the federal program says, all right, governors, tell us who we should target to get, basically, that's what it is. It's just
Okay.
to isolate and help funnel who's qualified.
Federal money handled by state
Yeah.
government.
Mhm.
Okay.
So who is you, Mayor, for the push for?
Yeah, so if we agree, it's discussion, so
Yeah,
there's no action here, it's just discussion. So the way it's written, Mary, you and I, let's team up and reach out to the surrounding cities.
Can we get this on next month's, on the next month's agenda, kind of a follow-up as to what it is? Because it's due, it says July 1st, so let's try and stay on top of it between now and.
Just reach back out and make sure it's put on there to ask her to put it back on the agenda. And we'll keep you guys updated once we figure out, even between now and then, where we're gonna go off and who's gonna be able to help if any.
Yep. And if we need to, and then if we need to get involved and do something else,
And judges.
Yeah, it's gonna rid of Zeke,
they're all running for office right now, so.
So, which is Dawn gone?
Yes.
Okay, what I'm reading is that they're gonna ask, the governor's office is gonna ask economic development organizations and county judges to submit eligible tracts for consideration. So we can get our EDCs to pitch in, but it's not a bad idea still even to get the local surrounding areas to kind of submit a package deal.
Definitely.
Okay. Anything else on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Mary, we'll talk on it tomorrow then. All right, we're gonna move on from there. Number 9, city administrator recruitment program. A, discussion and our action on the program for the recruitment of city administrator. B, possibly executive session. I think, and I'll leave that to you, Ramsey. It looks like we can move on without having to do executive session. We've done 4 initial rounds. Mary's already been given the okay to set up those interviews. So there's really nothing here to discuss. She's setting up interviews.
Interviews are scheduled for the 27th meeting. I've got 2 that have confirmed availability. I'm still waiting on one to find.
So what she's saying there is the 27th meeting is going to be a long meeting if we're getting all 4 of them set up. So 3. Any other discussion on that?
No.
Nope. Okay. We'll move on from there. Number 10, legacy project progress. Since we just had a meeting last week, I don't know that we need to go to the board. I don't know that there's a whole lot here. I know we've got one group out here in the audience, so just going to go around the table real quick. If there's some kind of update that you need to give, since we just had a meeting. All right.
The street lights.
Okay.
So Mary and JD, they did a great job. Gave me a list of electric poles and everything. I called the PC, talked to them on Monday, gave all of that information to them, and they said they are sending it to the engineering department.
Okay.
They said the answer is not going to come out in the next week, or they need some more time. So it will come out. I'll continue to pursue it, but it's in their hands at this point.
Okay. Just note on that. We can update that line item. Anything else on yours?
Nothing else.
All right.
I got one quick one.
All right.
I'm gonna pass these around. Since we gave ourselves money in the park tonight, this is what I want to spend it on.
Is it the park?
This,
Will it be the
no,
park?
it's gonna be the park, not the park, but it's gonna be the park.
I like it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Chad. So I want to put in 2 pickleball courts and new basketball goals on the current 50 by 50 pad that's there. There's a couple of things that I want to do. The second sheet lists the money I want to spend and what I want to spend it on. New goals and poles, $8,500. Brace for setting of the concrete and foam, $500. Block off the area for recommended time for everything to cure, $200. And then the basketball court striping, clean and everything, $500. Etch and prep the court, $500. Layout, striping, and colors, $150. Then the purchase, the paint, and the supplies is $2,400. Fill the cracks and patch the surface, $300. And then I want a minimum of 3 UVI cameras with 360 motion put on poles over the bathrooms and the basketball court that the police department can monitor. Total is $14,550. I believe I can come in under budget, but I'm not positive of that. But I would like to ask to spend that money.
And the UVI cameras, do they have a fee, yearly fee, or they?
The UVI cameras, do you know, John? It's the one Paul uses at, I want to say no. Is he here now? Did you just hear the brakes?
Yeah, the brakes broke.
Yeah. I put $1,500 in there. It's not going to be $1,500 for those cameras, but I put $1,500 in there to budget for it. So, and Paul is also writing a grant request for the flock cameras. The total on that budget is considerably more than I have to spend on cameras. And we wouldn't get it till next year anyway. But even being able to put in these cameras that have SD cards and the ones that are close enough to a Wi-Fi signal to get it in the building, we'd be able to monitor. But the SD card ones, I would like to put one back on the point as well to be able to at least monitor what goes on back there. And this is phase 1 of what we want to do in the park. The Park Fan Club's doing a great job.
Are they cellular or?
They are not. They are Wi-Fi enabled. I would prefer not to have a cellular phone bill with them because we're going to be able to see. We have park.
Is there Wi-Fi all the way back to that point?
No. But we'd use an SD card back there, so when we needed to go look at something, if we had a problem, we would not know that. Hey, Paul, can you answer a question for me on the UV cameras, or the ones we talked about the other night that you said might be a better option, but it's still a camera? Do they have an annual fee?
So the UV ones do not. Those don't have annual fees. Now the other one that he hasn't got back with me on, I'm sure those probably will.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm going to need to know if we're going to have an annual fee, but the UV cameras are actually going to give us what we want, which is the ability to monitor.
Correct.
And we have several of them. We'll be able to monitor. We'll be able to record. We'll be able to see what's going on. And then we'll have the ability to have them back where they don't have a Wi-Fi connection or don't have a connection. They'd be able to pick up.
So if we put one back that way where there's no Wi-Fi, that one will have obviously the fee for the SIM card. That's the only one.
There's a fee for the SIM card?
If you're gonna pay cellular service,
Do we have to pay cellular, or can we just go pull the SIM card if we have a problem?
you can, but then you're not gonna be able to monitor.
Right. No, I understand. But
So you won't get alerts
if there's something back there.
Correct.
Cellular doesn't cost much.
Yeah.
It's very little.
Let's look at adding it to the plan. If it's $30 a month, we can take 360 out of here. Okay.
The game cameras, cellular,
Mhm.
$10 a month.
That's usually like 120 a year or something.
Okay. I'm good with that. I'd much rather have something we can monitor.
Okay.
So
So they.
You're looking at $14,550.
dollars
Have
that
a time frame? Who's going to do this work?
Yeah, so some of the work, I'm going to need some help from the city on taking out the old poles and obviously standing up the new ones. So I'll need some help with Public Works to do that. Volunteers are going to do the cleaning and the pressure washing of the court. We're going to stripe it ourselves using, I actually have a friend that does basketball court striping, and he said he would come do it, help us do it. So we'll buy the materials, he'll come help us lay it out, then we'll all paint it. The post holes and things like that, I would like to start within 2 weeks of being able to get the basketball goals here. We need to actually purchase them. They're not necessarily local. The ones that we're buying are industrial playground equipment. We're not buying basketball goals for, for a backyard. My target date to be completely done is April 1st.
April 1st?
April 1st. That's weather's going to play some part in that, but April 1st is the date to have that done. And we'll wind up with 2 pickleball courts. The pickleball courts will be painted. I'm not certain yet how we're going to get the, they have both. They both have both aluminum and the shatterproof glass. In fact, the ones that we're looking at, they actually show people you can jump up and down on the rim and it doesn't break. And some of them are guaranteed for 10 years not to break. So we're going to actually do a little more research on the warranty on them.
I was gonna ask, yeah.
On the actual warranty. Some of them we have 6 to 7. We have narrowed it down to 6 or 7 different choices.
Mhm.
But out of those 6 or 7, it's now time to say, okay, we have the money. We're going to buy them. So come give us your pitch on which one we need to buy and why. So, so April 1st is my target date to be done.
You got a putting green too?
The putting green was extra, and no, I don't have a putting green yet. James has a putting green right next door.
It's free.
It's free?
And it's free.
It's free.
Yeah, the putting green's free.
Okay.
So, and then the other thing on my legacy report or legacy thing was, I called about a school for West Tawakoni and have not heard back from them yet.
Okay, so we're needing to make a motion to approve this money.
Yes,
With motion.
I'll make a motion. We spend $14,550 to do the project in the park that we would all like to see done before April 1st.
I'll second that.
I got a motion with a second.
That's covered.
Greg Sprinkle. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Good. Thanks for
Appreciate it.
coming. Yep. All right.
You're going this way, so, I know you have the presentation. Do you have anything?
I don't not have anything, any updates.
No updates.
No, I didn't get there.
Okay.
All right. So, and Robert Halbert here to talk to us about the healthcare insurance. And I will turn it over to him.
What's the debate? What's the discussion?
Healthcare insurance. Thank you, Robert. Sorry for taking so
Oh, no
long.
worries, no worries. I only brought 5 of these. And
I already have one, so.
Okay, you've handed them out to everybody.
I got one.
Okay, it's the same thing you guys have.
This right here?
Yes, I just wanted to make sure I'm just gonna let it right here.
I actually got them a good deal. I didn't ever get them done like I needed to, but it worked out.
I got with Ramsey, I guess, about 3 weeks ago. We kind of started working because y'all were kind of having some questions and a little bit disappointed in your renewal that you had with the TML health insurance, your group health insurance. And so we just kind of started putting some stuff together. And we thought we found a pretty good program for you guys through ABA. And I wanted to bring this out to you guys and let you guys take a look and kind of tell me what you guys want to do. As far as the health plan is concerned, if you look on this first page that I sent here, this has kind of got a comparison of all the plans on one sheet. Kind of starts with y'all's plan and then kind of shows you the cost difference in the plans that we looked at. Y'all's TML plan currently is a PPO plan. It's got a $1,500 deductible with a $5,000 max out of pocket with 80/20 co-insurance. I don't need to go through every line of this. You can see it. Basically shows you your physician office visits and everything that comes with the plan. I don't have an individual. I had a monthly total spend for the city, and it was like a little over $20,000. And so I didn't have the actual individual spend. And so I'm kind of shooting in the dark here. But according to the first plan that we showed you, the level 1 plan, that would actually be a $500 deductible, which would actually decrease the out-of-pocket exposure for your employees.
Let's help, for talking points, the help section then?
Yes, sure will. It has a $2,500 max out of pocket, so that cuts your employees' out of pocket exposure in half. The same co-insurance. You've got $10 less on physician office visits, and then specialists they're at $30 instead of $60. You can look through the plan. It's 20% co-insurance. Urgent care is only $30, where your plan right now is $75 plus 20. You will be amazed at how many people go to urgent care instead of a doctor whenever they're sick. So it's kind of a big thing. And then, of course, your standard plans. But on this first plan, just kind of give you guys an idea, the individual coverage. So you guys, now that I can see here, your individual coverage right now is costing you $1,128.46 a month for this plan here that's already been underwritten. It would be $790.10 for the individual on the plan. This is the UHC Choice Plus network. I work primarily in small business, and when I say small business, we work with some municipalities as well. As far as our sweet spots, the 20 to 30 employees, that's what we love to play with. It's very sticky, it's kind of personable, and that's just what we've always done. We've been doing it since about 2010. We got in the commercial side of the insurance business in 2021, which has been a journey. We're not going to get into all that tonight at all. I can promise you. But yes, any questions, I'm here to answer. I just kind of
Real quick, currently $1,128 a month per person is what we as a city are paying.
and I don't know what you pay like if you have an employee spouse. I'm assuming the employee is.
Employee spouse is,
So I know
right
what.
here
Yeah, I know.
is, the 2176.
Sure, but I didn't know.
We paid a difference, yeah.
Okay, you paid it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. But so I would just off the top of my head, I don't know exactly the number of folks on each level of the plan, but it's a significant savings. Probably somewhere in the $30,000 to $50,000 a year for the city.
How many employees are in the plan?
17. If I remember.
There's all 17, nobody else has their spouse or family added to it. Everybody.
It's just the individual. Okay, cool.
Probably because it's so high.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think $790 is expensive, to be honest with you. And I mean, I see it every day, but you're seeing a lot of these big numbers starting to pull up. As far as services on the backside of everything that we do, as far as the Renew Group is concerned, bring a personable touch to everything that we do. We have an enrollment team that can come out that works out of our office. We're on call 24/7. We're small. We want to deal with small companies. Compliance wise, all the 1094, 1095Bs, probably whoever's doing all that crazy stuff, we do all that in-house at no cost for all our clients. We take care of all your cover administration at no cost. Your Section 125 plan documents, we do at no cost and administer every bit of that. So if you look on the back page of this proposal, it goes over all that. So that would be something to be of interest to you. The other thing is most of our benefit side is pretty automated. We run off of a system called Ease. So everything we kind of put into one system. I know you guys have your Aflac, and your Aflac guy takes care of that. I don't want nothing to do. He's the one that brought me in. So he does that. If whatever else we do, dental and vision. I don't know if he does your dental and vision. If he does, I want nothing to do with it. He give me a solid by bringing me in on that.
Savings for the city.
So we can get you. I didn't.
Pretty stout.
That's very stout.
Yeah, pretty stout. So I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Math questions.
Okay.
Okay, so today we're paying $1,128 for a single employee.
Oh, yes,
Right.
sir.
All right.
What I see.
Our future rate could be as the worst case scenario, $790 based on.
That's out of the 3 plans. That's the Cadillac plan of the 3 plans.
I understand, and I'm gonna go Cadillac, just because I like it, okay? All right, so now my employee level that I have today, and Mary, you really probably are the one that's gonna answer this. So my employee with family, right, is $2,490 under this plan,
It's 3328
With the family,
currently.
yes.
because we pay,
Well, then you would subtract the.
right, so we would pay 1,100, we would pay 1,100 of that, and the
Yes.
employee would pay
The rest.
the difference. What's the employee paying today? Or are they paying 3328 today? Or are they paying 2,300 today?
2,300 today.
Okay, so if they're paying 2,300 today, then what will they pay? What will they pay under level 1 ABA plan? Is it 2,490 minus 790.10?
That's up to you, the city, actually.
I mean, if we're already paying 790,
Standard than.
Yes.
Yeah, you pay, they minus
so
the
in
7.
other words, they would save $1,600 or $700 a month.
Almost 8, yeah.
I'm just making sure I understand the math. Right.
It's
Yeah.
1949 for the employee and spouse, right?
Right, but it's 20, right, but I'm going most expensive option,
Family.
right? So it's 1949.45 for employee plus spouse, but we pay 790 of that 1949. So their part is only $1,200. Whereas today, if we have an employee plus family, they would pay $2,300. For the level one plan, they would pay $1,700 and change.
Yes. Yes.
Makes perfect sense to me.
And just kind of the way I looked at it was, if you're on, everybody's on individual plan right now. I think y'all are a little over $20,000 per month as far as your total spend on your bill. You'd be under 14,000 now. So, like once you start looking at it, if someone, I don't know that it would ever be a thing if it's not now, but someone said I can't really afford to have my spouse, and maybe something next year you look at and go, we saved $84,000. You know, maybe we could push a little bit more money in these levels if we needed.
Right. We could add to what we were paying for the employees and family. Yeah.
So we save $300 at least, right, per employee?
So right now,
about 75,000.
Right now,
So that's what
just
I
at the
was
basics,
gonna get to. Yeah.
$69,000.
That's huge.
Quote off the one company.
No, sir. I actually, Ramsey's got the other quotes. We looked at Blue Cross Blue Shield that came in pretty comparable, which that's who underwrites TML anyways, to your rates that you have currently. United Healthcare came in higher. United Healthcare level funded would not quote a municipality, which is common for some carriers. Aetna does not quote municipalities. It's all, Ramsey has everybody. I quoted, and we do that every year. That's one of our
Who's the underwriter?
Assured Benefits Advisors. They're out of Dallas. ABA is what they go by. I can get you any information you need on that.
It just looked like it was United Healthcare.
United Healthcare is the network that they use.
Okay.
The UHC Choice Network. Some of these carriers like this, I use a handful of different ones because we actually go in and we fully underwrite your group. We don't just go send it to the Blue Crosses of the world and send them a census and go, hey, thanks for sending us back, whatever. You know, we're going to dig into a lot of different things when we start doing this. And so AI is our friend on some of this stuff as well too, like with ABA. So
how hard is it to switch?
That's the next question.
It's not.
So
I have another question too, which is how many offices around here accept like
UHC Choice Network?
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody you can think of.
Okay, that's like.
If you go back towards Dallas, Baylor, Scott, and Watson network. If you come out here, Christus is in network. You know,
Okay,
you've got your UTs are in network.
That was gonna be
And
my
we can,
question.
and I can also send you a link where you can pull up and see, but
I know
it's
that, but I'm
PPO
gonna
as
look
well
up
too.
the-
So
Vader and those people take it?
sir,
Vader?
Baylor, Scott, and White, yes.
What about prescriptions?
The prescription drug plan is.
I know I'm not employed by the city, but.
I want to get a job.
Yeah. Jobs over at Parks and Rec.
I know it's in here. Hang on just a second. I'll send you some other stuff. So make sure I'm telling you.
Good grief. I know what I'm paying. Still got 2 years. Well, I got a year.
So to answer one of the questions while he's looking is you guys asked how soon can we start? We will have to do a 30-day notice to leave the CML pool.
Okay.
How hard is it, and how hard is it, how much of an inconvenience is it for our employees to have to do it?
I wouldn't think it would be like a massive undertaking. It's gonna be just sitting down for another open enrollment situation.
It's a pain.
Yeah, that main part of it, other than that, I don't think, unless, their doctors are not in network and have to find a network doctor versus.
You don't,
That would be the only thing.
PPO, everybody's in network and PPO, so it's not an HMO.
How
So
do we figure out if they take if somebody takes a drug that's expensive or whatever, how do we figure out that?
So when they underwrite these groups, whenever they do, ABA uses an AI system that goes in and basically through all your tier 1 and tier 2 reports from your current carrier, they can pull that information and they already know before they. So I get a lot of quotes from some of these carriers like this. They'll decline to quote if someone's on some sort of cancer treatment drug or something because they already know that they can't tell me who or what, when, why, or where, but they pretty much know. Whenever you do this. So if there's any discrepancies, up front. As far as onboarding, a lot of what we do is online, so it would just be probably communicating with you and getting census, getting everything uploaded in the system, getting all the data in the system, and then we come out. It wouldn't be obviously we got to figure out the dental and vision piece of it as well. I didn't primarily focus on that because that's super simple. And then you could do a census rollover and have someone, myself or one of my guys from office come out and do a quick explanation to every single employee, hand out information and get our information out, because we like the employees to know who we are as well. So if they have insurance questions, they can call us, you know, they have claims questions, they don't need to call, yeah, they can call us, you know, and like I tell everyone, my cell phone number on my card has been the same cell phone number I got when I graduated high school in 2001. So, but yeah, it's not, if we come out, it's short and sweet. There's not a big sales pitch. We already know everybody's on the health insurance. If they want to make a change as far as adding their spouse at this point, they can, because we're opening the open enrollment back up. There are changes that can be made inside that period, but I also have a call center in my office. So once we come out one time, if they have questions, they can call into the call center. We can make any changes over the phone. So it's pretty simple.
You have one person when you come out. Next month.
So do we want to hold and hear from another person?
I think we should check with her.
How long do we want to give her to respond?
I mean,
Yeah.
You'll bump her tomorrow.
we can call her tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, let's bump her tomorrow,
Right.
because this is at
Yeah.
$69,000.
Yeah, by next
Yeah.
week.
Let's fire away.
Yeah,
I've got to
So we're
confirm that,
spending-
but I'll let you know. It's
saving a month.
either 7-1 or 3-1.
$6,000 a month.
I can push them to
Oh,
3-1
okay.
music, we just quoted it, but just to know that if we go to onboard, like for a 3-1, like a 2-1, we're gonna have to move pretty quick, and we don't mind, we can get it done. But usually we like, you know, the last 2.5 weeks to get everything processed. Everybody has cards in hand, you know, and things like that.
30-day notice for.
Yeah, so,
So you need to know by when?
I need to know within, I was gonna tell you to target for a 3-1 effective if you wanna do this, so we're not all rushing, okay? And so, you know, if we know in the next week or two, then we can start working with you to get everything onboarded. So by basically 3/10, 3/15, we have a date and time we're coming out meeting with everybody, and we have everything to the carrier by no later than 3/20, which gives them 10 days to process and get cards out to everybody and make sure everything is nice and clean.
So it'd be effective 4/1 or?
No, I meant to get with you 2/10, 2/15.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I said that backwards.
2/15.
Correct, not 3, yeah, correct.
So we have a council meeting on 2/7?
We ought to do
We have a
that sooner than that. We got
1/27.
Yeah.
1 and 1/27.
Okay. All right, okay. Good with it.
We need to make sure she gets in here and is able to.
And if it doesn't,
No, if she doesn't, then okay.
You fill out paper back?
You sure can. If I can find it.
I appreciate you coming out here and doing
Hey,
this
thank
with
you
us.
for the opportunity to earn y'all's business. That's
Yeah.
how, this is what I tell everybody.
One more, Ramsey, he was brought to us from who?
Bill Slaughter.
Bill Slaughter, so I want to thank Bill Slaughter, for helping us out with that as well.
Awesome. Good work.
Okay, it's still on you for
Yes, ma'am.
any other updates?
I do have a couple other updates.
Okay.
And, if we get moving, we'll make sure to take that.
On the radio read,
Yes, sir.
there has been.
We're good to go. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert. Thank you, Joe.
I'll talk to you soon.
On the radio reads, has been a grant opened up, that will fund, 100%. And Mary has given the, proposal for the meters to Jacob Martin. And they are going to pursue that grant.
so I got a question.
So- Yeah, I was gonna, can I add to that fund there before you fall off? With that, there's we qualify in order to get higher points in the qualifications, the rankings, that we would have to find a shovel-ready project. Christy did say that the AMI meters would be considered shovel-ready. Another project she recommends, and she is going to speak with her team there to see if it's even a good qualifying project, is upgrading our line from the plant going further west of the city.
Yes.
But that is not considered a shovel-ready project, so they're looking at the risk to see if it's even an idea to put in.
If you add that to it, does it hurt our chances of
It
being
could, I mean, yeah, so they're gonna level up the risk to see what's a good possibility.
I would hate for that to stop us from.
Now, did the audit stop us from getting the grant though?
Not that I'm aware of, because we have not received more than 750,000 a year in grant funds.
We're about to.
Well, it sounded like a threat.
It is a threat.
Okay.
And, I suppose we didn't have the proposal when Ferguson.
No.
Okay, so we have the proposal here. The number pretty well. Speak for themselves. They said that, in terms of timing, once we get them in, started to do the install, it takes about 30 to 45 days. And during that time, they'll have all the meters switched
I was
out.
gonna say, is it gonna be phased out, or is it, they're just gonna overtake everybody?
They come in and they wanna do, he said their target is normally they wanna do about 60 meters a day.
60 meters a day?
So, I mean, I guess there'll be something in place that it reads the old meter before, and that information.
They read the old meter, they take a picture of it, and they put the new one in, start from there, and they aggregate all that data, and they bring it to us.
That's the same one
6
that
or
we
8
got.
weeks from start to finish, because they're not working weekends, right? It's 30 days.
He said it's pretty normal for them to work weekends.
Okay.
I don't know that we'd want to count on it. but-
1,800 divided by 30 is,
Yeah.
or by 60 is 30 days.
Yeah,
So
30 days, right.
I was just guessing 6 weeks,
Yeah, and we don't have 1,800.
but we did.
No, this is showing 1250.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's like 450 hours. That's why it's plus or minus a few that we've added since last time I counted.
And you, are
And then
you,
what they do, when they install the meters, they get the GPS coordinates and some other data off that meter, and they configure it, and they put it in. And then when they're done, they give us a tool for configuring new meters that will handle all this. And there's some other configurations. They have to get with us first to find out exactly what data we want out of that meter, what order and formats and all that stuff. And then they build that into that configuration tool.
That's a fee every 2 years.
What's that?
It's 14, 15 grand every 2 years.
So what?
Subscription for the-
So Ramsey, what do we need to do? Because we know that we have 1,250. We know we have 1,250 meters in the city, right?
Right,
We know that 35 people watch us on council meetings,
right.
and we know that 150 or 200 people read Facebook.
Mhm.
How do we get the word out to the folks that we're going to put in a new meter, and it's going to mean changes to their water bill?
Put it on the water bill.
Put it on the water
Put
bill.
it, like, no,
Yeah, I mean,
water bill.
I think we have to do
We'll have to do it
something.
several, I would think using multiple forms of communication to get them. So we put it on the water bill, put it on Facebook, we put it through our mass notification system, our iris alerts.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think we got to be really strategic, really structured at what we say and how, this is the reason we're doing it. Then, and you will notice a difference in your water bill, and these are much more accurate. The old meters read, every gallon. These read every 1/10 of a gallon, and there's going to be, because there's going to be some angry people whose bills are going to
Bill's
go
gonna
up
go up.
because they're actually being charged for the water they consume, right? And
Right.
there are going to be places where we find leaks and we find, abuses and all those types of things. I think we have to talk about it in front of, because I don't want to overwhelm the water department with complaints on bill one. Just think about when we changed just the format of the paper, how much we had, just the change in the format of the paper was an absolute, there were a lot of people uncomfortable with that. So how do we get in front of that?
I think once we get it somewhat of a timeline, that we can start kind of figuring out how we want to roll this out, because with this grant, we're not sure as when it'll be funded.
Easiest way to do this is your updates. One, it's pretty much right now pending on that grant. Two, one of the things that needs to be worked on is public notification. So come up with a plan on how we would do that.
Cecilia, newsletter.
So
Don't pick on her.
Legacy project. She ain't even up here yet. We got our
I know.
legacy project
I
already.
want to take it away from you.
Oh.
You don't have time.
You want to take the newsletter away from me?
got this thing right.
There you go.
All right.
And to answer Chad's question about the annual software hosting, the first item there, that was required ongoing for the AMI software. That's $83.33 a year. The leak detector subscription, that's for, that's the year one.
Year two is
Actually, it's year two and forward. He said what happens is when they put this system in and turn it on, he said the screen is gonna light up with leaks everywhere. And we'll have to pick pick them in order of importance and deal with them. And he said at the end of the year, if you've really been active and you've been out picking on those things, he said a lot of people just turn that subscription off. And if you want to turn it off and then come back a year later and turn it back on, you can do that. So the second part of that subscription is not a long-term requirement. It's not a long-term requirement.
I wasn't here for that presentation, but I would assume that the yearly fees would largely be covered by the increased collections. Would that be fair? If we're actually more accurately.
I would think so. The biggest, there are two really big things here to me. One is the labor saving is really gonna be big. I mean, right now, what we do is we put two guys in a truck, two guys in another truck, and send them out for a week, and they're reading meters.
All week.
Huge
Yeah.
labor saving, yeah.
Yeah.
All week, every month.
Yeah, so
For a week, all week.
Yeah,
Every day.
It's not including
First time we
turn
looked
offs
at
and cut offs and ons.
3 weeks of it.
Yeah. And so that problem.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big chunk there. The other thing is we lose to leaks and under-read meters 27% of our water. We'll see how much of that they can tackle. I mean, that's going to be something, you fix a leak in one place. The way this ground shifts, you'll have another one somewhere else.
I think having that.
Well, we'll know about it. We'll know about those leaks soon. And I have actually been strapped to a spreadsheet for several days now trying to figure out what this is going to happen. And I have found that our billing relies quite a bit on usage. We're tilted toward a variable cost business, and in reality, our water plant is a fixed cost business. And so I'm not saying that rates need to change, or I'm not saying that rates need to go up. What I am saying though is that I think our rates need to be looked at because they may not be structured the same as our business is structured. And I have, I've reached out to, I can't remember the acronym, Texas Water,
Not Development Board.
no, not Development Board, Texas Rural Water Association. And they offer a service that will come out and they will do rate reviews. And a guy named Paul King is the circuit rider that would come and look at that. And I just got his name and reached out to him today, and I have not made contact, but I will keep on that.
I'm gonna make a comment as to rates. Just generally, you need to be reviewing those yearly, and you need to be correcting based on like the CPI index every year.
Yeah, and we do, and I've been asked several times by several different people to look at our out of city water
Mhm.
rates, because they're not really, we don't really know how they were determined, it would be one of those things that I think we should look at and include in this as well, just because that's gonna be affected as well, and if we're gonna look at one, we should look at all, and how do we address those, and, you know, figure out a way to make those either more equally fair, or how to make them justifiable.
That's it for the radio reads. On the secondary exit for Rabbit Cove and for the Maze Lane Rabbit Cove, I really don't have anything big, but I would appreciate some help if I could get it. I'm having some trouble reaching, Brian Toole.
Okay.
He had emailed me before the holiday, and asked what my availability was for the middle of the month. I've emailed him back 3 times and I haven't gotten a response, so I would like, if I can get some help.
I'll call him in the morning and see what we can get figured out to get set up.
Good deal. Yeah, and he, you know, he may just be buried.
Yep.
Making up for holiday time.
Anything else?
No, it's short term, we already heard about that. No, that's it.
All right, great job on the legacy project. Great job. We'll move on from there. Number 11, citizens input, 3-minute, non-related agenda items. I haven't received anything in yet.
They all left.
They all left.
We held them off long enough.
No citizens input. So number 12, the adjournment, motion.
I make that motion, we adjourn.
I got a motion and a
That's
second.
covered.
Who was the second?
Me.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Greg Sprinkle.
Motion passed. Thank you, guys. It is.
No, we were all gonna pick you already.